Okay, now we're here on Overtime. Rachel, in your recent Reddit Ask Me Anything, you confessed to having gun enthusiasm. What's up with that?
I enjoy shooting guns. Recreationally. And so at gun ranges and stuff. My first date with Susan was at a gun range. Her sister's a lifetime NRA member, and she was hosting Ladies' Day on the range. And our first date was shooting all sorts of stuff. I just don't think you should be able to bring all that stuff home.
And what good is it?
Well, I don't enjoy shooting at other people. I enjoy shooting at targets and
Well,
stuff.
no one enjoys shooting. Well, some people do enjoy shooting.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, it's funny to hear you say that because, you know, liberals are sometimes mad at me for saying that I am not going to unilaterally disarm in a country full of gun nuts. I don't enjoy having a gun. I compare it to antibiotics. I say, you know, I have a gun like I have antibiotics. I hope I never have to use it, but I don't love my antibiotics.
But is your gun...
Polish my amoxicillin and put it on the shelf. Ooh,
But you're not opposed to a background check or registering it.
Absolutely not. Do all these things, but it's all bullshit. You know that too.
Oh.
Because we don't have an anti-gun party in this country. The Democrats love guns too.
Absolutely.
Although we had an assault weapons ban from 1994 to 2004 that would have made it so the kid who shot up Sandy Hook Elementary, that he got those weapons from his mom. His mom bought them legally.
And President Bush supported extension.
Okay, but
it didn't get extended because of you
But
guys.
that kid would have brought one of the...
I support it.
There was
The president supported.
But that
I will see
kid-
what the Democratic Senate does this year on the guns.
Well, right now, the Democrats in the Judiciary Committee just passed background check, just passed the assault weapons ban, and all of these things.
But see what-
Had that law stayed in effect for after 2004 and had the Republican Congress and George Bush not killed it, then she would not have been able to legally buy the 30-round magazines he used or the AR-15.
Then he would have brought one of the other 2,000 guns available in America that the Democrats love.
He fought 100. He fired 152 bullets in less than 5 minutes.
minutes,
yes.
Had he had to
Great.
reload 15 times instead of 4 times, he would not have been able to fire 150 bullets before he lost his nerve.
Absolutely, great.
But Bill, you're right. It's bipartisan.
Great. I'm all for that ban. But if you think it really accomplishes a lot, you're kidding.
You can't. There's no perfect in gun rules, but there are better rules than others.
I have an idea.
Yeah, there are. Great. I'm all for passing it. I'm with you.
Here's my idea, and I don't think the technology is there yet, but I just wonder if somebody who's listening could develop this. You put a chip in every gun, and there are certain places where that chip shuts off that gun's functioning. So, for example, in a school. And I don't know that the technology is that, it's not here yet, but I don't know that it's that far away, and that strikes me as a good solution. You can have all the guns you want, but they're essentially going to be dysfunctional when you take them into, say, a school or an airport or an airplane.
Well, you may have fewer gun owners, but you have more guns than you've ever had before. You got more guns per gun owner.
Which is a
than you've
weird
ever had
pattern.
before.
That, we got 300 million guns, but fewer Americans owning them, which means that people are setting up armories.
It's
a lot of guns.
Right. It's the gun nuts.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, look, there are people who...
Collectors, Bill.
People... I mean, to me, the difference is, you know, if you want to have your picture taken with your gun, you're a nut. Okay, I mean, I have a gun. I've never taken a picture. I'm like, oh, here's my gun.
Rachel, any pictures with your gun ever?
I don't own a gun.
Oh, I see.
I've shot guns at ranges and stuff, but no. I did shoot a tank in Iraq once.
You shot a tank?
I got in the tank and I hit the trigger and a big thing flew out of the tank and that was $5,000 and then I felt very bad.
There's a defense budget. That tells you what's gone.
Exactly. Tank bullets are really big.
Okay. Well, you know, speaking of this, I wanted to mention this on the show. We ran out of time, but the knives on planes issue. It kind of burned me because I thought the TSA actually made the right call, and it was one of those situations where I saw both the left and the right agree. This is so stupid. How can they say that we can't bring water on a plane, but we can bring a knife? Because the TSA actually studies this issue, and you actually can bring down a plane if you brought on a water bottle, but it really was something other than water. But now that we've reinforced the cockpit doors, and there's probably an air marshal on the plane, they're not going to bring down the plane.
And it's an
with the
international
penknife.
standard. We're just conforming to what other countries are doing internationally.
So you're okay with knives on planes?
I am okay with knives on planes.
I'm not. I don't have any particularly good rationale other than I don't want a bunch of people with knives. Why do you need a knife on a plane? You're gonna cut some whittle or cut some cheese?
Because a good guy with a knife.
No, Jared.
Good guy with a knife and brown guy.
You don't need it on the plane. Most people on the plane are traveling.
So put it in your suitcase. Put it in your suitcase.
I don't like to check luggage. It takes a long time. They lose it. Yada yada. I mean, you know, it's a way to give us back a little bit of just the normal life that we're all complaining
The
about.
TSA also is doing it because if there's a knife in the luggage and the carry-on, it slows everything down. And so it's
Right.
to speed up the process, but you know, taking a little knife. And it can't be a locking knife, it can't be a locking blade, it has to be a folding knife. You can bring a corkscrew on now, before you couldn't. So this is just common sense. I think it's a smart thing to do.
Okay. Will the use of drones be one of President Obama's lasting legacies, maybe even overshadowing health care reform? Oh, I don't know about that, but I mean...
Well, we need some protocols and procedures right now. I think that's
the drones?
Absolutely. I think people need to know under what conditions you're going to use them. Is there any kind of judicial overview after the fact? You can't just have a government using these things willy-nilly.
Did you have that position under Bush?
They weren't using them. I mean,
They weren't using drones under Bush? Yeah, they were.
Not to the extent.
Not to the... Well, no. Obama has upped it, but they were certainly using them.
Which I think makes sense in a war, frankly.
But they were certainly... No, but wait. They were using them under Bush.
Of course I had that position.
You did?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's one thing I think is important about the drone thing is that we're using the CIA as if the CIA is the military.
Right.
And the downside of that is that the way the CIA operates under precedent and law is that if you ask an elected official, how about this thing the CIA did, they can deny that it ever happened. Well, then how do we have accountability for this war that we're fighting with the CIA? It should be under the military, not under the CIA.
We have 15 spy agencies. Yeah. We have a budget for the defense that nobody could ever imagine. One thing Eisenhower got so right was that shit about, you know, the military-industrial complex are going to take over this country. Boy, no prediction, I feel like, in politics ever was more on the money.
He was a general, so he saw it coming.
He'd seen more.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panel. Thank you, audience. You were terrific. We'll see you next week.
Real Time with Bill Maher, Friday night at 10. Ask Bill and his guests your questions right after the show at HBO.com.